Hello and welcome to our first episode of PlanetBase. This is a very fun game. Same developer as Donna Man, and they do have a special. You can buy both games in a bundle pack, which is what I did. Um, this is an older game, but it's still a lot of fun, very addicting. So I turned the music down. It does tend to be a little bit loud. So we're going to start a new game here. And as you can see, you can select your planet. Now, when you first start the game, these three are going to be locked. You have to unlock certain achievements on the first planet before it unlocks the next one and so forth. We already have them unlocked because I have played quite a bit of this. So we're just going to start on the first planet, which is our Class D. And this gives you some information about the planet. It is a medium-sized desert planet with a thick CO2 atmosphere which partially protects it from meteors and solar flares. Characteristics: light amount is high, solar panels operate at full capacity, atmosphere density is high, suitable for wind turbines. So that's where we're going to get our power from. Sandstorm risk is high, which the sandstorms can injure your people if they're out walking around outside, but it does also give you a lot of wind for your turbines, so it's not all too bad. And you can get meteors. And you can name your base. And I like to name it something funny because more times than not, I do end up killing the whole colony. It does take a lot of strategy in this game on how you build, where you place things, having the right amount of everything. You can choose your location. As you can see here, your coordinates change, though it is pretty random where you're going to land at. So let's go ahead and start. Alright, so our spaceship is landing. And you will see we get a few people here, and they all have their own jobs and tasks that they do. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, and 2 little robots. Those are our little Wallies there. And you'll see you do start off with some resources, and that's to get you going and building until you can start producing your own resources. So the first thing we are going to need is a power source. Let's put a solar panel up. And there is different sizes. You have small, medium, large. You do have to place them a certain distance away depending how big they are. I'm just going to start with a small one here. So we've got our power source, and then we're going to have to put an airlock in and a water extractor for our oxygen. This is our water extractor. We'll do a small one. And everything you build, you have to connect. Because the water, the power, everything has to be connected through the lines to make everything run. We do need our oxygen generator because they will start to run out of oxygen. They only have so much in their suits there. I want to kind of place this centrally if I can. And let's connect those. So you have to have power and you have to have water to create the oxygen supply. And they're going to get started on building those. Your little spaceship you can recycle. these are all your resources that are inside. And if you recycle it, they all go on the ground there. Now eventually we'll need a storage unit to put all those in, because they will degrade over time if they're left out. But they do last for quite a while. Alright, so once we get the oxygen going, we need an airlock, because they have to have a way to get in there. So, let's put an airlock right there. Once that is built and connected, they'll be able to go into the airlock and then into the oxygenated area. So this is considered an interior building because they'll be going inside of that. These are all exterior. We are going to need a lot of power sources, so let's put a wind turbine over here. We'll just do a small one here. We want to be careful with our resources until we can start making our own. They do go pretty fast. So these are our meals. We have metal, we have bioplastic, medical supplies, and spare parts. Alright, so our airlock is filling up with oxygen. Now they can go inside, refill their oxygen, and then they'll get back to building. Getting on that wind turbine. It's one of the most important things you need is to keep the power going, because if you have no power, you have no oxygen. Everything starts shutting down, and that can be detrimental to your colony. So up here you see we start with seven people, 2 bots. This is your sunshine, and it's daylight right now. We are on hour 16, and this is your wind strength. Alright, so we got that up and running. Now we do want to start building our interior structures. We are going to need a canteen pretty quickly, because the canteen is where they're going to get food and water. And the next thing they are going to need is water. Once they have oxygen, they will start getting thirsty after that. So when we build our canteen, we can put water fountains in there, we can put tables, we can put our meal makers. And another thing we're going to need pretty quickly is a mine, because once this metal is gone, we need to be producing our own metal. And this will go fast while you're building. So let's see if we can get a mine going. And the mine has to be connected to like a mountain, and you should place it pretty close to your airlock, that way they don't have to walk very far. Airlock is out of power, so we're not producing enough power yet. Everything's going down. It's okay for a little while. They'll be okay with their oxygen reserves, but we do need to get that up and going. And one thing you can build is a power collector, and that's going to store any extra power that's being generated that you're not using. So at nighttime, obviously the solar panels aren't working, and when the wind is low, you're not generating very much power, so you need a backup. And what that is going to do is it's going to store any excess power that's not being used. And these are the times that you need that, when there's no sun and not a lot of wind. So our oxygen is low, but it's starting to fill back up. We have a good wind speed right now. We are going to want to build more turbines and solar panels, obviously. And this planet does tend to have a good supply of wind, so we're just going to build another one there. Make sure you connect to everything. Alright, so our canteen is built. Immediately we want to put in water fountains before they die. Then you can put in a little table. We'll do the meal maker soon. We're not producing any food yet, but once we do, we're going to need these meal makers to turn the vegetables into meals. Alright, so you can also build a video screen and plants, and all that does is give them some happiness. It's not a necessity yet. We don't want to go through all our building supplies yet. You do want to connect this so the mine has power. And then once that gets going, our workers are going to go out and work in the mines. Our workers also build all the structures. And then if you go to your stats, it will show you your status of your city. Excellent. This is just for prestige. Once you start trading with other colonies or getting visitors in, your prestige is going to go up. This is our humans, 7 colonists, and this breaks it down what they are. So we have 3 workers, 2 biologists, 1 engineer, 1 medic, and no guards yet. We don't need guards yet until our city gets a little bit bigger. And then you have an overview of your resources. And here you can take off the top so you can see inside your structures. So they brought in the resources needed to build these drinking fountains and table, which requires a bioplastic. So we're just waiting on the workers to come in and build that. So you see our power supply, our power collector is filling up. And what that is doing is storing any excess power that we're not using. So the times that our power goes down, it's going to pull it out of here. And you will want quite a few of those. And you can also look at the overview. The grid tells you what is being consumed, what you're generating. So our power, we're using 14, we're generating 70. And this is our storage, is filling up. Our water, we're using 1.5 and producing 2.57, which is pretty good. I usually try and keep it around half just so I have room to grow. We don't have any water storage yet, which we will be building. And our oxygen level, we have 7 people and we have enough oxygen being generated for up to 20 people. Alright, so next, we are going to need a dorm, and that's where our colony is going to sleep because they will get tired after a while of working. And their production will slow down if they get tired. Now they will just sleep in the hallways or wherever they can if they have to, but their morale goes down and it's kind of hard to balance it. So we'll get that started. And then we are going to need a biodome, and that's where we're going to plant our vegetables. And that is what is going to give us that bioplastic to keep building. So I think we'll put that about here. So that's good. The biodome is going to have the plants, and then those can be brought to the meal makers once we build that. So we have a short pathway there. So then they can eat, and then they can go to their dorm and get some sleep. And then we will need a processing plant. That is what we're going to turn our ore into metal and our plants into bioplastic. So I think that's a good spot for it. Now you can connect these on multiple different points, but remember it does take resources, so I usually only make one connection. And it's okay if they have to walk a little bit farther. That's okay until we get our resources really going. We want to kind of be safe with using too much of it. So we've got one ore. That's good. That means the workers are in there mining for the ore. And then once we have our processing plant built, we can start turning that into more metal. Okay, our biodome is built. Let's throw some plants in there. So you see the various plants we have. These are all starches. These are going to give you bioplastic along with vegetables. And then we have our reds, which also give you starch. But there is a combination to making these. To make the meals, it's generally about 3 of the white ones to 1 red, and that will make your meal. And if you pay attention to what it says there, it tells you if it's high maintenance, low maintenance, or just kind of in the middle. The high maintenance is going to take a little bit more maintenance from the biologists that are going to be working in there. So you don't want to have too many of the high maintenance. We'll put a potato in there and a wheat. And then we have our tomato, lettuce, onion, radish, and mushroom. Let's start with an onion pad. So we've got 1 red, 3 white. Eventually we can build a bigger one. We'll put more plants in there, and we can start growing medicinal plants, which they turn into the medical supplies. So I hear some meteors being smashed around here. That is a thing, and they can hit your structures. And when they do, they will disable them. But your engineers can go out and fix them, and that's what they use these spare parts for, is to fix the exterior structures. And eventually we will start building spares for ourselves. Alright, so we got our pea pad built. Our dorm, we can start putting some beds in there. Now we only have 7 people, and these are bunk beds, so it will hold 2 people at a time. I'm just going to put 2 in here for now because they all don't go to sleep at the same time. Usually about half will take a nap and the other half is still working. So just to start out. And then our processing plant is built. So we can start putting our processors in there. This is going to create our bioplastic, and it costs 1 metal to build. And then we have our metal processor, which also costs 1 metal to build. We'll start out with 1 each. We are going to need a lot more of those later. So we're starting to go through our reserved power here. I think we're going to build another power collector. Can we fit it in here? Yeah, but that's going to block off our pathway here where we can expand. But we can expand over there. We can expand this way a little bit, not much. We might end up putting a second mine over here. There's not really too much we can expand that way. Really, we're going to have to go this way and this way. So I think I'm going to do maybe be a power collector right there. Still gives us a little bit of room to expand that way. We might have to put another airlock in to get through there. Alright, we got our bunk beds built, so these tired workers can go lay down. We got our vegetables going. The biologists are going to be the ones working on those. They're not in there working yet. And then let's go ahead and put our meal makers in there. So once they start producing those vegetables, they can start making food. So pretty much they just throw the vegetables into the meal makers and the meal maker does the rest. So we're going to put 2 of those in there. We'll put a nice little plant over here. Alright, so we've got 2 ore. Just waiting on our processors to be built so they can start turning that into metal. Still got 15 meals, so we're good. We are going to need a sick bay. And I think I do want to put another solar panel up. Yeah. Could go a little bigger. Maybe a medium one. And keep in mind, the further you build, our workers are going to have to go and walk all that way around. So planning is key here. Looks like we're doing all right so far. So when you see these yellow wrenches, that means our plants are not doing so well. They're decent, but they need maintenance, which means the biologists are going to have to get in here and start working, maintaining these plants. So what you can do is you can put this area on priority, which I always do with the biodomes, because plants and food are always a high priority. You need the plants for food, you need them for making the bioplastic, which you need to build everything in this game. So very important to keep those plants well maintained, or else you will starve, or you'll get stuck and not be able to build anything else, and it can go bad really quickly. Let's check our grid here. We are going to need more water. We're kind of at the end of it right now. We're consuming everything we're making, so let's go ahead and build a water tank, and that will allow us to store some water. This is really a narrow pathway. I don't want to block us being able to build anywhere over there. So let's stick it over here. And we may need to get another water extractor going, since we are at the peak. Once you start putting the plants in, your colony or your city is going to start using up a lot more water to feed those plants. This guy's really tired. He just fell asleep in the hallway. Timothy Wang. He is a worker, sleeping, he's happy, he's fed, his health is good. You can click on any of your little people here and see what they're doing. This little bot. He's a constructor bot, so he helps with the building. And he can break down also. If you see the little wrench here, it will tell you his condition. Alright, we reach self-sufficiency. You now have the structures in place to sustain your colony. Sounds good. So we're off to a good start here. Yeah, so with the bots, they can break down, but they can be fixed by the engineer, I believe. And then eventually we can start building our own bots, and we can make a repair station where they automatically go and repair themselves. But we will need some other things before we can start building that. Let's check our meal makers. We have no meals yet because we're waiting on these plants to grow. Poor, decent, poor, excellent. Oh. Wheat is poor. Alright, where are my biologists? Are they all sleeping? Alright, so she's maintaining the plants, so we should start producing some vegetables soon, hopefully. We do want to build this kind of close to the airlock, so when they land, they can just go straight in. I think that's about as close as we can get to it. And we'll connect it there. All our power storage is filled up. That's good. That means we could probably put another one to start storing some more power. We only have 3 metal left, and we're not producing any yet. We're still waiting on it, so I think I want to stay small for now. It's going to take them a while to build this one because it's so far out. They will prioritize themselves if there's a structure that's close by. They're going to build that first before they go out to the far one. So don't build too fast, because if I put down a whole bunch of stuff over here, they're just going to build all of this because I don't want to walk that far, and that will never get built. So if power is an issue and you need to get it built fast, don't start building anything else until that's done. Alright, so our landing pad is built. Great. So now we can access our landing permissions, and this allows you to accept colonists and traders, or you can turn them off or on. So we do want more colonists, and you can select which people you want. So if you want a certain ratio of workers, biologists, engineers, medics, guards, we'll get into that later. Workers are great to have. We only have 3 right now, so we do want more of those. May need to up that a little bit. We're at 42% right now. And biologists, we're going to want more than 2. You want a lot of biologists. Engineers, we only have 1. We do want another engineer because, heaven forbid, if something happens to that engineer, which can happen, you just get like a freak accident and the meteor comes and lands right on top of your engineer, that's it, he's gone. So you kind of want to have backup. We have 1 medic, which is fine for now. And we do have our trading on, so if there's any resources we need, we can trade what we have for something that we need more of. So we do want to build a sick bay. These are just, you don't have to worry about these yet. This is for happiness, really. Multi-domes, like a gym and a bar. We do need a storage unit to put all of this stuff in. We do need to clear out this area before the resources start going bad. I don't think we're going to fit one in here. Oh, we got a ship coming in. So our storage unit, they're going to have to do a lot of walking to go get those resources and bring them back here. Alright, we're going to put that there for now. I'm thinking we're going to have to put another airlock somewhere over here later. And we reached expansion. You managed to get new colonists to arrive at your base. Alright, let's see what we got. Most likely we got a worker. So let's click on our base management stats. Alright, we got one new person. Oh, we got another biologist. Okay, I'm fine with that. We actually need another one because these plants take a lot of maintaining, and only the biologist can do that. Why are you unhappy? Alright, fine, I'll give you a TV. We've still got a lot of bioplastics, so some of the items only take bioplastic to build, like this TV. And it adds a little bit of happiness to them. I'm kind of leaving this open for now until I see if we need more meal makers or another table, another plant. Alright, so we're producing vegetables now, that's good. They can start turning those into meals, which they're doing. They're filling it up. I think we need like 3 vegetables to make a meal. Later we can start producing vitro meat just to give more variety. We have 1 metal, we've got 3 ore that's waiting to be processed. And we have 3 starch that can be turned into bioplastic. Alright, our power looks good. We've got all 3 of our power collectors filled up. Just waiting on the storage to be built. So you see how they're going all the way around here? Because they can't cross over these connections. So they literally have to go all the way around and into the airlock. That's why it's important to kind of plan out where you want things. You don't want to block off an area where they can't get to something. And our little bot broke down. Oh. So we're going to have to wait for the engineer to come out and fix him. And you can speed up time if you feel at a comfortable point, or you're just waiting for things to be built and more people to come in. You can speed it up a little bit there. Oh, look at him zooming around. Alright, so there's our engineer. He's fixing up our little bot here. Our other little bot is gonna need some maintenance here soon. And that's why you want more than 1 engineer. So yeah, they're having to walk a long way right now just because we're trying to get this built. And we're gonna have to be putting all of our resources in there, so they have to go all the way around and back again, which is okay. We can deal with that for now. Alright, so we do want to start processing a lot more metal, or we're not going to be able to build much, so let's put our priority up on this mine, and maybe even build a second mine. We do need to get more workers, so... Yeah, we got another ship. And that's a trader. What do they have? They have everything. Alright, so the traders have a percentage that they charge, and if you click on any of the items it'll tell you what that is. So say we want to buy some vegetables, so they're charging a 50% commission, which isn't too bad. It's kind of in the middle. You'll see anywhere from 30, 35 up to 65% commission. In the middle is okay. Anything below 50 is actually a good deal. So I don't think we need vegetables. I just wanted to check what their commission was. We do need metal, which we can't buy, and they don't have any ore to buy. We have plenty of medical supplies. We don't need guns yet. They do have a constructor bot patent, which is really good to get. I don't think we can afford it right now. We don't have a lot of resources to sell. That's going to cost 200 plus a commission, so 300. and there's no way we'd have to sell everything we have, which we can't. Um, what you want to do in the future is create a lot of medical supplies because they have a high value. Their value is 25. So later on, once you start producing a lot of medical supplies, you can trade those, and it gives you a high value for that. Guns, medical supplies, spare parts give a high value. Not as much as the medical supplies, but still pretty good. We don't want to sell our spares because we are going to need those when things start breaking down. We don't want to sell our meals because we need to feed our people. Obviously, you don't want to sell our metal. But eventually you do want to get all of the patents that you can. And also you can buy these little driller bots or carrier bot. The driller bot is the more expensive one, but he kicks ass. He goes into that mine and starts drilling away. It's great. But we can't afford that yet. So there's nothing really that we need at the moment besides metal, and we can't get that from them, so we're just going to dismiss. There's our engineer fixing up our other little bot here. Let's just put it here. They're going to have to go out quite a ways, but we're going to be building another airlock over here. So once that's built, they'll be able to get through there just fine. So we need bigger biodome. Once we get this biodome, we can put more plants in, and we can then create another canteen and put more meals in there. Sandstorm. Alright, we got our first sandstorm. We don't have a security center now, so we can't put on any alarms to get the people inside. So our little guy right here walking out in the sandstorm, they might get injured. Hopefully not, but what you can do until you have a security center is shut down the mine so workers aren't going out to the mine. Kind of minimizes the injuries, but we can't really stop these guys from working. Alright, get your stuff in there and go back in. Hurry, hurry. What you can do is you can turn off the power to the airlock, but we've got people outside right now, so we don't want to lock them out. And our wind turbine got damaged, but our engineer is working on that right now. You can see our wind speed is all the way up, which is good because that's going to refill our power. Yep, they're getting injured, so luckily we have medical supplies. We might need to put another bed in there. I think the cabinets hold up to 4. So that holds 4 medical supplies. And I think we have 2 injured people, so that's fine for now. We'll build another cabinet soon, but we gotta get this up and running quickly. And that's filling up with oxygen. Let's check our stats. Oxygen is fine, water's fine. Power's good for now. Alright, let's get our plants going. Let's put some corn, some wheat, and potatoes. Let's put some tomatoes, radish. That should be good. We got 3 whites, 2 reds. Let's put a medicinal plant in there as well so we can start making more medical supplies. We don't want to overwhelm our biologists by putting too many plants in there right now. And then we are going to want to build another canteen so that we can make more meals. And let's put a little bit bigger one there. There we go. Connect it. Alright, so they're working on our canteen, and then we can start making more food, but this will get them by for a little bit until we get that built. Alright, I think I'm going to leave it off here, and we'll continue this on the next episode. Let me know if you like this game, if you want to see more of it. I do really enjoy playing this. It's a lot of fun. It's very challenging. If we continue this series, eventually we'll get into the other planets that are more difficult, more challenging, and it can be a lot of fun. So let me know what you think. Write some comments about if you'd like to see more, and if you've ever played this game, or if you have any hints, tips, tricks, whatever you like, or just say hello. Alright, we'll leave it here, and we'll continue on the next episode soon. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody.